Because I already have Twitch pulled up to make sure the audio is fine.
Well, that's good because I don't even have to count. According to all indicators and the graphs and things we have on our dashboard here, we are live on the internet on Myth Brigade. Yay. This is the first. When was the last time we played File Dawn, guys?
March 27th.
March 20. Man. And we were going to play 2 weeks after that, weren't we?
Aren't we always going to play 2 weeks after that?
Yeah, I think we were.
So I think in my defense, it's Eric's fault. So.
Nope.
Audio seems to be fine.
Audio's fine. Cool. So let's get moving. It's been a long time since I've been behind the GM screen here. I've been playing a lot. We've been doing some one-shots on the channel. Shauna Rosenberg has been running some one-shot Call of Cthulhu. Byron has been running some one-shot Call of Cthulhu along with Pendragon and Knights Black Agents. So I've just been having a great time, showing up and losing my sanity and all that sort of stuff. But I must say, I missed you guys. And this campaign in particular just always kind of puts a smile on my face. So let me go around the horn. I'm going to start with Tyler. Tyler, what's new, man?
Not much, man. Got a tattoo. That's about it.
New ink.
New ink.
Yes, it's a dragon, right? Like a giant fucking angry dragon.
Got a big ass dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can't see it like this, but it's cool.
The saving throw versus breath weapon on that would be horrific. Going old school D&D. Nice. Well, we're glad you're here, Red Rocket. Happy to see what comes out. Did I really say that? I'm happy to see, what happens.
Yeah. You want to see what comes out of my Red Rocket, Jason? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I do. I guess I do. Next up is Byron on my screen. Block Scroll. How the hell are you, man? Other than tired?
Yeah, I'm a little tired. Other than that, that's about it, man. Juggling all these different rule systems and working on finalizing perhaps the end of the Dracula Dossier campaign, Blood Rising. Maybe getting ready for some 7C. I've been playing around with RuneQuest a lot lately, so that's been kind of cool. You should check that out if you haven't checked it out over on Chaosium's website. They have some pretty cool deals. Of course, if you buy the PDF, you can always get money off the physical copy if you pick it up later.
Do you get commission? What the fuck, man?
No, man.
No, it's true.
No, he's just been riding that RuneQuest stick.
I am.
It's pretty cool, so I can't say much. But
I could possibly be getting. Oh man, I can't.
Since you mentioned it, I will put a link in the description below to RuneQuest on DriveThruRPG with our affiliate link on it. So if you click on that and buy anything, I'm not sure what it does for us, but it does something.
You see amounts of stuff on my desk.
Something happens.
Yes, something great and wonderful happens. Awesome. Well, Byron, we're happy you're here in the player seat this time. Eric, why are you still in that alleyway? How have you not found your way out of that alleyway?
Donovan's just stuck there, so I'm there with him.
What's been going on with you? Anything good? Any new tattoos or Any like crazy shit going on?
Nothing super crazy. Trying to figure out how to convince a kid that doesn't like to bicycle to go bicycling with the rest of the family. But other than that,
Get him a motorcycle.
I thought of that more along the lines of an electric bike, but those are kind of expensive. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but
and
he's got a
motorcycles
college
are even
fund,
more
right? You could just spend
expensive. So I
that.
don't like that idea very much.
Nice. Well, that's cool. So I am actually regretting my choice of going back to cycling as I managed to run into a fire hydrant. I don't recommend that.
Those are not soft.
Yeah, and they're also not, discreet. I mean, they're right there. It was red, and as they are. And
I was going to say they're usually noticeable.
I fell down.
Oh, red rocket syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. And, so the great news is it's compelled me to get back to doing things that require me to sit down and not, move
Are
my
you just
back around much.
colorblind? You just couldn't see.
No, I'm just ADD squirrel moment. So yeah, don't show him footage of that if you want him to ride a bike for sure. Cool. James,
No,
Well-
we're just going to accept that he has different interests.
and get him a fucking motorcycle, Eric. That's what he wants. That's what I want him to have, and a helmet because got to be safe. Speaking of motorcycles, that was a good segue. James, what's going on, man?
Things are good. Saw a couple movies this weekend. Just chilling out.
What'd you see?
Yeah, what'd you see?
Northman and Doctor Strange.
We
How
were
was
going to go see
Northman?
Doctor Strange before we threw this game together.
Oh man, we ruined it.
Yeah, how dare you?
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Was it one of the best movies you ever seen in your life?
No, but it was good.
How was Spanky Bum Cumber whatever his name is? How was he in that? Was he good?
He's just good at it, at
Right.
that role.
Yeah, he is.
And it's a Sam Raimi film, so it has his touch too.
Oh, nice. That's
Seemed like a little bit of Evil Dead influence in there.
oh nice. I'm out the door.
Yeah, I
gotta
heard.
go see
I
it.
heard it's like a Marvel horror movie.
Really? Okay, that's awesome. Well, you heard it
How
here
about
first.
Northman? How was that?
It was a good movie, yeah. If you like the Robert Eggers' other stuff, The Witch and The Lighthouse, you'll like this.
No,
Lighthouse is wild.
no,
The Lighthouse is a wild.
no. See, and I'm gonna share this with the stream. I took so I have two daughters. They are now 21 and 25. And 2 years ago, maybe just before COVID, I took them both to see The Lighthouse, not realizing just how many masturbation scenes there were. It was like the count was pretty impressive, and they come out of nowhere too. You couldn't prepare for them. There wasn't like a change
They
of
come out of nowhere.
yeah, change out of there's no change of music or anything to indicate that hey, here comes the masturbation. It was just like straight to the fapping sound. So thank you for that guy making that horrible fucking movie. I did like the CinemaScope thing, the little aspect ratio thing they tried. That was pretty cool. Okay, so enough about masturbation. Is everybody ready to play some Savage Worlds Vile Dawn?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, very cool. So first of all, there's some housekeeping stuff I want to get out of the way. So you recall the last time we got together, your team found itself a warehouse on the outskirts of Freedom City, kind of close to the airport. Shipping is much more convenient there. There was a meth lab downstairs, which you turned into a graveyard. There are, so let's start there. Actually, the realtor has helped you make a deal with maybe the mob to finance this place because for some reason all of your credit is just shit, which we'll get to. So tell me, how did that play out? So let's start with Mordred. What did we do with the bodies?
Just would have stayed behind there and found a way to chop them up, put them in bags, weight them out, and take them out over the ocean and get rid of them
Nice. So that
at night,
my.
discreetly.
yeah. Okay. So you would have been down there toiling around, some big black gloves or something on, and like an apron. Maybe like a chemical protection thing that you found down there because it's a meth lab. Probably they have those.
Just have armor.
Yeah, and you just flew them out on your motorcycle over the bay there, or the Great Bay.
That's not going to look suspicious when they watch
No,
it.
not at all. Not at all. It's totally fine. So how does that go over with like Block Squirrel and Red Rocket? And you know, I don't know that Donovan has a choice because he's sort of fated to Mordred, right? But how does that go over with the two of them?
I thought we were attempting to maybe dial down the police attention.
Well, that's why it's getting rid of the bodies just like as discreetly as I can in the dark, rather than having them just sitting here in our future headquarters.
Would it be relatively easy to determine if they have like sword wounds?
Not by the time he's finished.
After they've been in the
chopping
ocean
up.
for a bit, no.
Not that I have much of a choice because I can't really do much about it.
You have robot arms. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Let's not forget
That's fair. Yeah. No, yeah, I'll let him take care of it. Yeah.
Okay. So you would have done that, and this is becoming basically your HQ, right? And so we've created an HQ. You've got a building, and so your initial spend essentially it's more of a plot point that you've got this place. Wow, is that music fucking deafening or what? I'm gonna fix that. It's really heroic. Just keeps getting louder and louder. Okay. So I'm actually going to give you 5 more points, and you guys are welcome to spend this later, but I want to talk about what your thoughts are for this building. So the warehouse itself is just one wide open floor, and it's got this sort of high windows kind of propped up with like the metal, rod or whatever. And then, of course, there's that lift, which lifts the crazy big door open, and down in there is the meth lab with a decent amount of extra power and infrastructure and stuff. So what is your goal? What might you have been doing over the last month to make this place home?
Just getting rid of whatever debris might be left over. I think the real estate agent said most of that was going to be taken care of.
Absolutely. So all the debris and trash and that sort of stuff. Rocket, would you have had them bring the contraption to the HQ?
Yeah.
The weird generator thing?
Yeah. Generator.
Yeah. Where would you
Generator.
where would you have kept that? Would you
I'd probably keep it in the basement.
Okay.
With the extra power and stuff like that. I'd probably try to start convert that from less methy to just lab.
Yeah, we would probably have to remove the meth lab ourselves.
Yes. Yeah, that's very true. So getting rid of all those chemicals and Rocket, I'm gonna assume that given your background with science, right? Like you might find some of those chemicals useful.
If I can find any of them useful, I would try to keep them.
Okay. Why don't you?
Watchful has quite a bit of science also, so she would be helpful in that.
Awesome. So I'm going to say between the two of you, you kind of sort out that, yeah, absolutely, you can use some of these chemicals for a variety of things, including cleaning up around the joint. So 5 points. So here's some options. A garage, which you kind of already have, but it's not really equipped as a motor pool. Kind of hard when you don't have a car. A generator.
License.
You're gonna need power. You've got power down in the basement, and I'm gonna assume that the combat actually kind of damaged it. So for 1 point, you can restore that generator. For another point, you could add more to provide yourselves with more power. There's a hangar, which I'm gonna go ahead and rule that out for now. The kitchen and dining, like a place where you can actually prepare meals and sustain yourself. That's another point. And computer lab is another point, a library / computer lab. And then sort of personal quarters are 1 point per 4 heroes. So basically 1 point for you guys. I'll let you do any 2 of these options. What might you have been doing the last month?
Well, definitely a personal quarters, kitchen.
That's 2.
Do we really need a kitchen though?
I don't.
You guys, well, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think
I
we
mean,
need a kitchen, man. We got Instacart and DoorDash.
You can have fucking DoorDash showing up to your HQ. I love it. Yes, that's exactly
Fuck
what
yeah.
Love it.
And they
Okay.
got that new stuff now where you can combo items. So like when they stop to get us Taco Bell, they could stop at like Rite Aid and pick up like our, paper towels and stuff like that. You could get that stuff delivered. You could get whole like from like Sam's Club. You can get entire things
Oh, you just gave me
delivered
my
from
hook.
Bullseye's online.
You just
ordering.
gave me my hook, Byron. I appreciate that. Nice. Okay. So you're gonna skip the kitchen and dining. You're gonna do personal quarters. So that's
I
one.
feel like we should do personal quarters in electricity or computer lab.
Either.
I think electricity is more important.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Computer lab's not
electricity.
going to work without electricity.
Is
Yeah.
that that's electric, like instead of, it's not just generator as a backup generator. This is actually getting electricity to the building.
Yes, well, it also so most headquarters are kind of powered by the national grid, right? But this actually protects you from that. It gives you an isolated generator, and so you can provide your own electricity, and there also not be an indication of where massive amounts of electricity are being used for crazy stuff that you might do.
I mean, if we just get a hamster wheel, I could take like 15 minutes a day, and like I could get us going for a while.
I mean, that's
Uh,
not a bad idea right
you-
there.
The Flash is fate in some
Do- do
comic
you-
books.
Do you have weird science, Tyler? Does Rocket have weird science background?
I don't.
Oh man.
No.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say I would let you do that if you had it. That would be amazing.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll take it next time.
So the one addition is over kind of in an awkward picture, like this weird greenish cinematic like bare area with like lots of dust, and there's this just table that was found, and there's a single hard telephone line running from the wall about 10 feet out. It's like a matrixy looking thing to this one table, and this rotary telephone, one of the ones with the push button lines at the bottom. There's 8 of them. And this has been put
I'm
there.
the only one in the group that would know what that is.
That's actually true. That's actually true. The rest of you are told it's a telephone or something of that nature. It hasn't made one single peep. It's on line 1, and there's a red one at the end where you can, I guess, put it on hold. or
So-
something. Yeah.
It's the bat phone.
Can we see? Can we like? No, it's a rotary. Never mind. Yeah, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say if we could see who's like called it before.
You
No,
can
don't.
do
But
what
I-
it
but
is.
that,
Yeah, you
like-
can't. There's no star
Yeah,
69.
yeah, it's-
No, this was given to you actually, and as you started to improve this was given to you by was it Detective Peters? I think is his name. I think I got that right. I don't have it written down, so I apologize if it's not. For those of you who watched this episode right after the last one, it's been like 1,000 years, so we've all forgotten. Anyway, so this is the way that they can get a hold of you, and you were instructed, should it ring,
It
that you
was
should.
Detective Peters.
Yes, nice. So you should answer it, and do not use it to call DoorDash anymore. Block Squirrel. It was the
I don't even
email.
know how to use it.
I was gonna say I'd make a weird science roll, but I don't have to yet.
Yes, what is this thing that? Ow, that hurts.
thing.
Okay,
So archaic.
so you have a generator, so you can kind of stay off the grid. You've created personal quarters. So just give me a 10-second, and mind you, these are haphazard. You have to improve them over time. So very quickly, if I was going to walk into Mordred's room, what would it look like as we're
Just
getting ready?
boxes and boxes of all the stuff I could have managed to salvage.
From
that wasn't seized.
bookstore. Yeah, from the bookstore. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got books and books and books and a few personal effects and that sort of thing just stacked up. I'm not going to ask this. Donovan, what do? You don't have a room, do you? Or do you?
Care. If I do have a room, there's nothing in it.
So there's just empty room. Yeah, so there's this just weird fucking awkward empty room. Is there anything at all in there, Mordred, that you put in there for Donovan? The ghost.
I like anything. Like ask him like what would you want in there, and I get it.
I don't need anything. I don't sleep. I don't eat. I don't need to sit down to rest.
Fucking horrible life. Oh, you're dead. Sorry.
No life.
Is it okay if we just use this room as like where we store all
Screen
the
TV
I
and
was
some
gonna say
movies.
storage.
extra storage and stuff? Like that?
Streaming accounts.
Yeah, so there's
He's got a 24-hour stream of the first 48.
Yes. Oh shit, that's cruel. Moving on. So, Blocks Girl, your personal quarters, this little kind of cubicle, bedroom-sized room. What does it look like? What's in there?
It's probably like very industrial. I probably like actually brought like some of like the like scraps of like the chain link fence and stuff up here and like put it on the wall and then hung stuff on it and probably like band posters, and that's probably got a loud music speaker and stuff like that.
Fuck yeah, you got like a Cannibal
occasionally
Corpse poster.
just like boxes of like different colored spray cans from the local Bullseye where I can just at a whim decide to repaint a wall or
Nice.
what have you.
Yes.
Graffiti.
Awesome. And she
What
just
an
kind of hangs
angsty
out in there.
teenager.
She sleep on a hammock or some shit like that? Is she like a cot or what?
No, she probably has like a really expensive like therapeutic bed, like
Nice,
very high
nice.
end.
Like a sleep number or some shit.
Yeah, sleep number bed.
Yes. Last but not least, Rocket. Two questions for you. One, what does your room look like? And two, is your human body here or no?
We've been here for a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could use Donovan's quarters for the human body because Donovan doesn't need them.
It'd be creepy. You'll just be in there watching it.
It's just like sitting there.
No, we're good. Yeah, I'd probably have my human body in here.
Nice.
So I imagine like the suit, like half the room is super clean and like scientific, all these like chemicals and stuff like that. The other half is an absolute disaster. There's a like half overturned dog bed. It's like one of those Tempur-Pedic dog beds. It's like all ripped up. There's like dog toys and just random dog things to keep him entertained.
Barrier to keep him out of the chemicals.
Yeah. He's
I just
like,
pictured like this like hospital like clean room, almost like an ICU room, but instead of having a regular door, it just has a doggy door.
Absolutely.
got it.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So you're seated around this plastic table that you have. It's like a break room table. Since you didn't really invest in a sort of eating area, that's about the best you've got. The seats are kind of cracked, and if you sit wrong on them, they might pinch your ass. At least one in particular. You're watching the one little flat screen TV that you have. It was a $99 job that you picked up at Bullseye Market. After the big situation there.
It was on clearance. It had a cracked screen.
Yes, and as you're, yeah, exactly. And the colors are kind of glitching out down at the bottom. There's a woman with this sort of pantsuit and this perfectly sculpted, like severe, kind of conservative hairdo. She's there with her microphone, as newscasters would. Freedom City is suffering. In the month that's passed, a strange computer virus has been ravaging core infrastructure, private enterprise, and the devices we rely on every day. Commerce is crippled, communications are stunted, credit is destroyed, and for all the talk of heroism, there seems to be little optimism among top officials. Let's join Deputy Mayor Anderson at the downtown branch of Freedom Bank. The camera cuts to a drone's eye view of a podium topped with a cluster of microphones. At either side, the U.S. and Freedom City flags fly proudly. And the deputy mayor steps up. He's a dark-skinned, very handsome, very kind of put-together man, red tie, navy blue suit. Steps up to the microphone, kind of looks around. Good people of Freedom City, I've come to assure you we're all doing everything in our power to get to the bottom of these recent attacks against our technology. Yes, the hackers have changed our way of life, our daily routines, and our ways of communicating. But they cannot, and they will not, take away our hope. And right at that moment, Deputy Mayor's head pulps from the inside out, leaving his bottom jaw and tongue waggling there. And then you watch as it cuts quickly to the drone, almost as if planned, and he just falls backward. A couple of the attendants on either side of him at the stage suddenly just start convulsing. One seems to be vomiting out what would appear to be an appendage. It's stretching his mouth open, and you hear, although you're not sure you make it out completely, there is no hope. What do you do? What are you doing?
What channel are you on?
4.
Monster will probably get up and kind of walk over to the phone,
You go look
pick
at
it up, and just kind of like turn it sideways and put the thing back down. And we're like, I'm not really feeling this shit today.
Okay, so you take it off the hook.
I take it off.
You take it off. You walk over and you do. You take it off the hook.
Oh, come on. I go, put it back on.
You know he's gonna call. Come on.
So literally this lime green telephone, like that 70s green, right, telephone, you put it down, and just as it presses down those 2 little plastic buttons, and that line 1 lights up. And just
pick it up.
Yeah, you pick it
Goes
up.
more. You stab him, we slap him.
How do you answer the phone?
Yeah.
We need
Yes.
your help.
Yeah.
There's a problem
I imagine.
downtown.
We'll head over there.
So things are going crazy. People are transforming. I've never seen anything like it, says the voice on the other end of the phone.
We'll see what it can do.
Donovan, what are you doing? Being on mute.
Sorry. I'm just hanging out.
Just kind of hanging out. What? How are you feeling about
If we're
what
going,
you saw?
I figure I'll go.
Yeah. Okay. Rocket, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go put some suge on. I'll catch up. I go put my little Nikes on.
Nice. So you go put your Nikes on. Link in the description below. Our affiliate link to Nike shoes. Yeah. So you run into your quarters. Your human self is in there, like doing what it does. Yeah, exactly. It's creepy. So you put your shoes on. The rest of you, how do you depart from the airport to downtown? It's a bit of a haul.
I'm kind of tethered to Donovan, which limits my autonomy. So
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm going. I can take a passenger, and
I'm sorry, tethered.
and Donovan just gets to come along anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you call your steed.
Yeah.
And isn't there a roll required to determine what it shows up as?
Yeah.
Let's see what size that. I don't remember what it
Four-
was.
4-door sedan.
Yeah.
I don't know. The high was
Say a
motorcycle.
High rolls motorcycle. Let's say. Did you just roll a 1?
Yep.
Okay, nice.
That's
So
a
you-
horse.
The rest
We're
of you
going
kind of
classical today.
Yeah, the rest of you kind of gathering, and this giant fucking warhorse comes clomping up to the sliding door, right, of the warehouse. It's just kind of standing there awkwardly because it's not going to run through the door or anything, right? So you rendezvous with your horse. It seems ready to bear the weight of, I guess, Block Girl's going to jump on with you.
I'm gonna call it Uber.
You're going to go in the fucking Uber.
You should probably get on
Love
the
it.
horse.
So
I'm
you,
riding
worked so
that
well
thing.
last time.
It's big. It's stinky. Oh, right on that.
Well, the average horse cock weighs 11 pounds.
so you
Aren't you in your room?
No, I already put my shoes on. I'm back.
Doesn't take it that long.
so you open
They're
your-
Velcro.
you open the Uber app, and you're trying to figure out where the hell you are, and it's glitching like crazy. It's just like, what the hell's going on here? It keeps resetting to the main view, and then it literally goes back to like the last ride that you ordered, and it's confused. There's something wrong with this app.
I mean, they have been saying technology's messed up. So
Guess I'll get on the horse.
All right.
You didn't mean those mean things she said about you, boy.
So here's how this is going to go. Anytime you are carrying someone, if you are going at crazy Mordred speed, they're going to have to make the appropriate roll for riding that thing, or maybe fall
When I
off.
said I didn't want to get on the horse, now we know why.
right? Yes. And so, just keep that in mind. If you're not, you're just like going Mach 5, that could mean that the person that falls off collides with buildings at Mach 5, right? So
Well, I don't quite go that fast.
Last time that didn't work well. I wouldn't recommend.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want my neck hanging around like that other guy.
Well, it wasn't hanging; it was more fused.
Yeah,
like what's the safe speed to top out at? Like driving speeds?
Yeah. I would say at a normal driving speed, that probably, given that these are superheroes, that'd be fine. The horse is a little more difficult than the motorcycle because it does tend to gyrate or whatever. So with that out of the way, you bust into action. Horse blocks girl. The ghost being dragged. So Donovan, as he gets a certain distance away, it's almost like your being is just kind of sucked in behind him, and you become like a streak behind him in the sky. Red Rocket, what are you doing?
Almost like flying.
I'd probably like dick around for a second, like go take a piss, like hype myself up, like
yeah,
and then just take off.
See, like go outside and pee on the hedges or something out in front.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're going to give me an athletics
I'd find
check.
the nearest fire hydrant.
Yeah, you're going to give me an athletics check, and this is not to see if you can run that fast. It's just going to see how that works out for you as you get into the city.
9 on the wild die.
Nice. So you're just plowing through these streets. It's about, let's say about 11 in the morning, so getting close to lunchtime. So that lunchtime rush is kind of picking up.
Oh, it's going to get busy soon.
Oh, yeah. And so, at one point you just kind of, and you run and you fly straight through a shopping bag. You barely even feel it. You just say, whatever was in
I
it kind of
spit
flies
like
over.
carrot out of my mouth or whatever.
Yes. And for those of you who are new to the stream, just to remind you that Red Rocket is in fact a Welsh corgi with Nikes on. So there's a visual for you.
And super speed.
Yes.
That can run Mach 2.
Yes. So how do you intend to approach the bank? So I'll give you, as you start to move in, there's already kind of plumes of smoke. Like something's going on in that area. It's not hard to find.
I definitely intend to approach more carefully. I'm just trying to get there fast. But,
Okay.
Once I hit like that block, I'll slow down.
Got it. So you run up pretty much right up on the corner there. And what you see, there's sort of this nice open area. There's a big a sort of a flag, and there's a monument in front of the bank building itself. And on the other side of that is where they've got this sort of the stage. Absolute chaos there. Give me a notice check.
Absolutely. 10.
Yeah, so the first thing that you notice as you kind of come in, you're very low. There's people running, milling about all over the place. There are a couple of cops kind of moving in, drawing weapons. Mm-hmm. There are these things creeping around. It looks like they might have been people recently, but they're completely just disfigured. Like in one case, the guy's arm is coming out of his chest and his head is kind of under his arm, and he's just sort of clomping along. There's another one cartwheeling along on these weird nubs that have been left behind from some kind of transformation, and they are generally attacking everything and everyone around them. There are about 10 that you see clustered around this stage. One in particular is on top of the mayor, literally just like eating the viscera from his wound.
So he's already dead. I don't give a shit about him.
Correct.
I'm gonna use my extra actions and speed and kind of like try to help the people that are still alive.
Okay.
And kind of like whirlwind the creatures.
Nice.
So I could get technically 3 of them in a round.
Okay. So you're going to basically kind of, they're clustered around the stage, so you can kind of run in there. I'm going to give me an athletics check to get in there quickly without hitting any of the innocent bystanders.
Wild die, thank God.
So you zigzag in, and you start your whirlwind, which creates an entirely different sort of panic, which is good. It starts to kind of move people away. These creatures are make these horrible kind of wretched noise. One of them looks up at you, and its mouth isn't where it should be. It's down in its gut, and it's just like as you start to spin. And remind me, is it a opposed strength roll?
It is a strength check at -2.
Ooh, -2. Hang on. My Roll20 window is back here. I need to get Whoa. Do it here. Oh, okay. And you said you can get 2?
I have 2 extra actions.
No, how many critters is it when you do the whirlwind per attack? Is it 1?
It's a large burst or smaller.
Oh,
large
wow.
burst template or smaller. So.
Okay, so you could get.
As I want to avoid any people.
Okay, got it.
So I'd probably aim for like 1 or 2.
Yes, so you'll get the second one. Let's see. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yes, critical fail. Okay, so one of them is going to actually be careening into a building. Tell me what that's like when it hits the building from being
So he's thrown 5 inches away.
Yep.
Into the building.
Nice. So that's like 30 feet, 25, 30 feet. So yeah, it just smashes into the glass
He's
of
just
this building.
spinning kind of like a shuriken into the building.
Yeah. The other one, actually, and this is where Mordred arrives. So Mordred, you're coming in, flying on this horse. And of course, people looking up and pointing like, what the hell is this? And this thing's like, just kind of goes flying past you as Rocket is down there creating his whirlwinds. What do you do as you join combat?
Or do you want me to drop you off blocks? Or on mute.
I'm good wherever.
All right, drop off blocks, and then
Well, where do you drop off blocks?
somewhere where she can help someone else,
Yeah, about a half
and I'll
block.
go off and help someone.
Okay, so about a half a block away, you're thinking?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So you kind of swoop down on the horse blocks. Give me an athletics check as you dismount as he's moving.
I can see this going poorly.
Oh dear, that's not good. You can use a Benny to reroll that failure, or you can suffer the consequences of being dropped
I
off.
believe you start with 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Cool. There we go. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I just wanted to be known that I did mention I did not want to ride this.
You said bad things about it, and this is what happens.
I just want to say this is why I don't ride it.
So Byron, tell me how this failure goes down. So you kind of jump down like you're going to get a running start, and you land on the edge of a fountain. What happens after that?
Oh.
Oh, I probably rolled my ankle.
So you roll your ankle.
So
gonna
it's
put
like it's like I roll my ankle, but I try to make it look like a superhero landing, but it doesn't.
Yeah. So you roll your ankle, and you sort of, you kind of attempt to land and look cool with one hand down, but your momentum carries you forward. You actually fall into the fountain with a rolled ankle. You'll be shaken, and that will obviously be something you can get rid of later. Or, if you want, you can spend a Benny to get rid of it. Your call.
It's shaking for right now.
Okay, so yeah, you just smash and splash down, and you can feel the pennies under your hands as you're just like, ah, shit. These creatures are going. Okay, Mordred, what are you doing?
Just find one that's attacking somebody and stop it.
Okay, so the first thing you notice is that they're kind of all clustered around this stage. Give me a notice check as you're there. I'm assuming you dismount your horse.
Yeah.
And that puts Spectral Avenger at the point where you can kind of move around as you'd like in the area, right?
Oh, 9.
Ooh, okay. You notice a couple things as you're kind of glancing around. There's the one that literally is just mopping up the brain soup that was blown out of the deputy mayor's head. There's one that Red Rocket planted through the front kind of plate glass windows of the bank, and it's just like dead. It's just like slumped there, bleeding all over. And interestingly, the front doors of the bank are blown inward, like with great force. What do? You proceed with your attack of one of the nasties? Yeah. Okay. So you move up on one, and it's literally just kind of moving, moving toward this woman. She's there with her briefcase, and she's got some other bag over her shoulder, and she's kind of like pressed up against a tree. You will have surprise. You'll get a +1 to attack. Wow. Okay. Well then, you didn't need the +1, did you? So wait a minute. Did you do +1? Did you add the +1 in your roll?
No.
Why didn't I roll over? because you rolled a d12 and it got a 12. I don't know.
I have a
It
plus
is-
1 already anay.
Oh,
So it was an 11.
got it. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and roll for damage. Watch this, ladies and
I haven't
gentlemen.
seen this in a while.
Yes. Okay.
So 32 total.
Oh my god.
What?
It just, since I caught it by surprise, I just grab it from the behind and just jam the sword straight
Yeah.
into it and throw it aside.
Yeah, so you grab a handful of like this fleshy grossness and you realize you grab it by its back, but like it's the flesh of its back is actually scalp and hair, and there's an eye like at the base of its neck looking at you, and it's looking very alarmed, and that's right where you put your blade, just down in its spine, and then rip it out and send it kind of flying off. The woman who you've just saved literally just faints with the seeing this is just way too much as you're there with your fancy armor and your sword and shit. Okay, Spectral Avenger, what are you doing? There are 7 left milling about in this area. People are clearing out, and these things are, it doesn't seem like they're chasing. It's like they're more there as a distraction almost.
Do I notice the situation with the bank doors?
Give me a notice check, and I will tell you. No, you do not.
So I am looking to see if anybody needs help. We've got 3 other people to handle the creatures, so I'm looking to help the innocents.
Yes. Okay. So you see the reporter. First and foremost, she's over by the news van, right? And she's like banging on the side of the door, asking for them to open it up. And there are a couple of these things kind of milling about in that direction. What she doesn't see is that this one of these things that looks like kind of a big like cauliflower blob dragging its limbs behind it, like a sack of flesh or something. It's about to attack her from behind.
Can I get to it in that time?
You can get there. Yes, you absolutely can. With your full movement. So you can move there, but you will not be able to attack. So you're going to have to kind of hoof it across the campus in front of the bank.
Okay, can I perform a free action?
What would that be?
Going to activate my damage field and then try to get close enough to the creature to injure it.
Ooh, sexy time. Yes. Tell us about the damage field. What does that look like, and what does it sound like and smell like and all that good stuff?
Well, it creates a severe temperature drop, cold enough that any living creature within it can see the vapor of their breath. It only affects things adjacent to Donovan, and I do not believe it affects somebody. It does not affect anybody that he passes during his movement. It's people that or creatures that end in an adjacent square after he moves.
Okay, so it does not affect people in an adjacent square after you move, or it does?
No, after he moves. It does not affect people he passes as he's moving.
Okay, got it. So you know that the rest of you, if you were sort of the camera's eye view.
This is the thing he used on the Mangler.
Yes. So you're kind of moving in. People like, in one case, this guy's glasses just kind of fog over, all kind of awkwardly, and you arrive up behind this thing. And give me some damage. How does it? Do you have to attack, or is it just a holy shit?
Nope. It just has to stand next to it, basically.
So this thing, as it's starting to kind of use its body mass to wing its droopy limbs over and forward, like as like a bashing maneuver, you freeze the thing. It's like it freezes over, and the forward momentum causes its limb to break off, and it falls dead to the ground. You notice that this thing appears to have been wearing khakis and like maybe a golf shirt that's now kind of part of it. It's like something just caused it to change suddenly. Blocks. You were there. You want to try to unshake? Make a unshake roll?
Yeah.
Yes, well done. So you kind of, how do you, you sit up in the fountain and you kind of stretch your ankle out. You're wet, but you're no worse for the wear otherwise.
Yeah, I just kind of give this big sigh.
And then stand up in the fountain. It's like it's like a fish that's like spraying water on you. It's just like, oh.
Probably. Yeah, so I unshake and I guess begin moving kind of up the sidewalk towards the bank.
Okay, give me a notice
Kind
check
of
as you do that.
staying up against the buildings as much as possible.
Yeah, the wild die gets you there. So you notice what I mentioned earlier. They're very large glass double doors, and they are blown inward. So like just thousands, hundreds of thousands of little shards of safety glass just blown inward. And the frame of the doors themselves are just kind of mangled, and no, not literally mangled, but lying off to the side.
Okay, I'm gonna actually head into the bank because I think Blocks really feels that this is just a distraction for something else that's going on. So she's gonna kind of ignore the people.
Okay. So I picture this moment where you're just kind of walking past the chaos, and there's like a monster, like, and you just kind of walk on past, heading into the bank. So as you step up to the last stair, you notice that most of the bank's denizens are in a similar state. Some of them aren't fully transformed. Some of them are only partially. Like the one guy's lying there and he's sort of twitching because he's grown an arm out of the top of his head, probably causing some interruption with his brain function. So he's just kind of like on the ground. Others are like slithering around. It's just this horrible scene of like malformed people. Two people joined together, trying to move opposite directions and stretching at the join.
Human cat dog.
Yes. What do you...
cat dog.
Give me a spirit roll, please, as you see this. Since we've been playing so much Call of Cthulhu, it seems appropriate. Yeah, so the wild die allows you to kind of steel yourself against this, but it is particularly spooky. What do you do?
I'm looking for the vault.
Okay.
Normally in banks, it's like, big open door. You can kind of see it. So.
Yep. So you kind of look around. Easy enough to spot. And what are you going to do? Head toward the vault? You may be attacked as you're moving in. You're kind of looking around. You're not entirely certain. There's probably 30 or 40 of these things kind of spread out in the bank itself.
So I think I'm going to actually try to basically transform into something and get... How far is it to the vault? It's probably 30 feet, something like that.
Yeah. It's not too far. It's got a pretty good sized lobby, though. Nice polished floors and desks out in the front. Yeah, it's one of those kind of places.
So I think I'm gonna actually turn into like Lego Dragonfly and basically fly over top of all this chaos.
Okay.
So as to not get involved in things that are down on the ground level.
Nice. You sort of kind of like roll your eyes and just turn into this dragonfly and take flight. And you can use your move to get all the way to the vault door before your turn is over. Do you want to do anything on your way there or no?
Just kind of scan around for anybody that looks out of place. Obviously these are all probably, the citizens of Freedom City.
Yep.
So looking for people that might look out of place.
Give me a notice check. Oh. Wow. So something about these dragonfly eyes, right? You notice there is a woman, a young woman, dressed kind of business casual. She's lying on the ground, sort of with her knees up to her chest in a corner, just kind of whimpering. She's the only person you see, in this entire lobby area who hasn't been affected by this, whatever the hell it is. She's behind the glass, right? So she's kind of maybe a teller or something, but she's there. And you just see her whimpering and just trying to stay very small.
Okay. I just note her. I don't actually go over to her or anything at this point.
Okay. Done. Red Rocket, what are you doing?
I'm gonna keep helping as many people as I can.
Okay. Give me a notice check as you're doing that.
Notice?
Let's see if you... Yeah, so I'm just going to give you this. You do see what Block's girl kind of enter the bank, as you're kind of moving around and mopping up these creatures. Do you continue kind of flinging them around or what?
I would dash over there for a second just to see what's inside as she walks in.
Okay. So I'm going to think you're kind of running in just as she's aloft, right? So you kind of like, and you just see this flood of these nasty things. Kind of. One of them is actually dragging a fire extinguisher that it's become part of, kind of as a leg, just like.
So, seeing so many of them, I'm actually gonna whirlwind the door area and kind of keep them at bay.
Okay.
So they can't like flood out of the bank.
Understood.
Not knowing that the girl's back there or what Block's girl's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm just trying to keep them in here and secluded away from all the innocent people.
Got it. So you're going to do that. As you start spinning, the glass that's everywhere just starts to churn. And not even thinking about it, you create this
glass tornado.
Yes, a glass tornado, and it's just shredding these things. As some of them are lifted up and flung this way and flung that way, and they're just glass flying everywhere. Blocks. As you're flying along, suddenly there's this turbulence that you didn't expect. Please give me an athletics check, unless you have flying.
No, I don't have.
The dragonfly might have flying. Might have some
It
skill.
probably does, but
I don't have stats for Dragonfly. Oh, double ones. Double ones. The dice are being assholes to you tonight, Byron. I am so sorry. So that is a critical failure. So one.
So apparently my rolled ankle has manifested into a bent wing.
Yeah. Tyler, give me a D6 damage roll, please.
Oh,
okay.
5.
So what's your toughness, Blocks? I don't think it's higher than that. Pretty sure.
8.
8. Yeah. Okay. So you feel the sting of this glass kind of slamming into you, and then the tornado just kind of propels you into the wall there where the teller glass is. You just smash into that, and literally your wing collapses into a whole bunch of blocks, and you're just like and fall to the ground. You're not hurt. You're just pissed, probably. Trouble is, there are two gnarly things there.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to attack you. 2 of them.
I'm sure this will be a discussion later.
Yeah.
They're about to roll really high.
Let's see. I'm just doing. Yeah. No, not so much. It's like these.
Oh,
Yeah. So you hit the ground, and these ham-fisted things are just like. And do not manage to hit you, but you're having to kind of scatter in order to avoid it. So gee, thanks, Rocket. Anything else that you want to do to make shit crazy in there?
no, I'm just keeping them at bay. Just keeping the creatures at bay, really.
Yes.
Keeping them kind of contained in here
Yes, for sure. How long can you keep up the tornado?
as long as I want.
Oh, wow. Okay. So picture this. The bank, you saw these things. You started spinning and spinning. I'm going to make you...
Creatures or objects... -2 penalty on just a -2 until the whirlwind stops or they move out of it. So
Got it.
A large burst template.
You're going to have a vigor check if you keep that up longer than 1 round,
Okay.
because of the teacup effect that it has on your poor dog sensory system. Mordred and Spectral Avenger. I believe it would be Mordred next. What are you doing?
Continue helping out the people outside that are an immediate threat. Does
Okay.
any of the monsters still attacking people?
Yeah, so pretty much they have the people, this is like in a flashpoint, right, where people are just hauling ass and they found their way out. There's an occasional threat here or there further away from the bank, but you're starting to get the impression that these things are not really there to chase down and these innocent victims. It's like they're just milling about in front of the bank, like creating maybe some kind of defense.
Right, I got that. But it's like, are any of them actually like attempting to harm another person right now, or has everyone gotten away?
You look around. Give me a notice check. Yeah, so you look, and there's actually one who's trying to move, and you realize that it's dragging a manhole behind it. Like its foot has essentially melded with this manhole cover. So it's just kind of... and it's swinging its foot around. at this guy. He's trying to use his phone to take a video of it as it's coming at him, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe this shit, man! Look, check this shit out!" And it's like lunging at him, and oh, jeez, dice are not being kind to me either.
You and Black Scroll can.
Yeah, I know. So it critically fails trying to attack him, and basically kind of collapses down to the ground. And he seriously turns around and he's like taking selfies with this thing and pointing, "Look at this shit, man!"
Well, if I'm nearby, I just grab his phone, throw it away, and shove him to get him to go run away.
Okay, so
I just imagine you grabbing his phone and crushing it.
yeah, so you grab it and just throw it, and he kind of looks at you, and it just like, oh, what's this armored guy doing? And he goes running off toward his phone. He's the last person in this area who, other than there's the dead mayor there. You can't help. There's various others that have transformed, but most of the other folk have gone away. There are people still in the alleys and in the cross streets and stuff, up in the corners, just kind of watching the scene unfold, and they could eventually become threatened.
Okay, well, I'll assume they'll be able to smart enough to run away and not try to take selfies with the creatures. I'll head towards the bank.
Okay, so as you turn back toward the bank after throwing the phone, there's this creature there with its manhole melded leg starting to kind of stand back up. Do you just leave it or what?
It didn't seem like it was very fast, so I'm just going to leave it.
Okay, so you leave it there. No, it's definitely not fast. It's dragging a manhole cover behind its leg. You notice as you're moving along, it's dressed, it looks like in a Starbucks outfit or something. It's got an apron that kind of comes in and out of its flesh. But the Starbucks logo, link in the description below, is very prominent. Okay, so you're heading back up. Donovan, what are you doing? So you've frozen this thing, and this woman, as it collapses, this woman looks through you as right, because she can't really see you all that well. Or no, you have to try to be visible, or the other way around. You're always visible.
I'm always visible.
Okay.
I'm just incorporeal.
Got it. She is a Scientologist. So give her a D6 in spirit and look at that. She pisses herself. She just and then goes running down the street, terrified of the ghost that just killed the mutation there next to the food truck.
At least she's safe.
The news truck. Okay. Blocks girl. You're there in betwixt these things, and they're kind of swatting and swinging at you. What do you do?
You have mother?
You what?
I said, how many of them are around?
There are two. With the really weird vision that you have, you see a whole lot of them, but you're pretty sure there's only two right there next to you, threatening you at the moment.
All right, realizing that combat is now going to just probably have to be a situation, and she's not going to be able to avoid it, she will gather her blocks and turn into a very big blue grizzly bear that looks like a Care Bear.
Oh my god! Does it have like evil eyes though? Is it like
yeah? That's
okay.
like.
So you just kind of fall into an assortment of blocks, right, from the form that you were in before, and then
just
with a big loud roar. Okay, so you've got two targets, one on either side of you.
All right.
I think I actually have stats for a bear, maybe.
I got him.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you get what? Strength plus D6. You have the brute edge.
Yeah.
A D8 for fighting.
Nope. Which is pretty much what I have anyway. So. For fighting. Oh.
So do you let the miss stand, or are you gonna spend a Benny?
Yeah, I better spend a Benny.
Okay.
I got 5 anyway, so why not? There we go.
That's better. So yeah, you swat this thing. Go ahead and give me a damage roll.
Strength plus D6. which strength is D12 plus 2. So let's see what his strength would be. Well, where is the stupid dice play? Alright, so this is trying to see what its thing is here, what the bear strength would be.
Just the strength, okay.
Alright, so the bear strength
That's just a strength and then D6 on top, right?
Yeah, that's to see what it is. So strength plus D6. So 13 plus a D6.
All right.
14 points.
So picture, if you will, slapping a wet paper bag that is full of pig intestines, because that is effectively you just and just rip its midsection wide open with a great big Lego-y roar, and it falls to the ground dead. And you see a cross pen, like one of those really nice metal pens, skitters across the ground when it hits the ground.
That's the guy that didn't let me open an account last week.
Exactly. The other one, let me see. So, Red Rocket, you're still spinning, correct?
No.
No. Okay, you
I'm
stop
not
spinning.
gonna. Yeah, I'll do it for one round.
Okay.
And then kind of it'll create some space.
Yes.
And then I'll try to investigate what's actually going on in here.
All right, let me see one thing. Okay, so you're going to have 2 rounds of peace because you basically sent these things flying to the sides and corners, right? And along with the furniture and everything else, and so they're digging themselves out of it.
Awesome.
So you've got 2 rounds to investigate. How would you like to go about investigating? What are you looking for in particular?
Just kind of anything going on, like people walking over to the vault, anything like that.
Yeah, give me a notice check.
It obviously was some sort of distraction.
Wow. Okay, so the wild die give you... Okay, so with that, 2 things. First, you smell something very, very strange. Like you can't put your finger on it. It's like a musk. It's like a body odor of some kind. It's super strong, and it seems to be coming from the direction of the vault. Secondly, you hear what sounds like metal just being like kind of like a large piece of metal being bent, also coming from the vault.
I'll investigate that.
Okay, so you just haul ass that direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like France over.
Yeah,
I cleared all the glass and stuff.
So you get to the door, and obviously you can see the vault through the teller window, but the vault is not just there, right? There's a security
can't see
door.
through the tele window at all.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's a security door there, so you're going to have to figure that one out. It is not standing wide open. It's a bank.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Can I just try to jump over the counter?
The glass goes all the way to the ceiling. Bulletproof glass.
It's one of those banks.
Yeah. It's modern. It's hyper modern actually, because this is a little bit of a futuristic place. Yeah, you could probably use maybe repair if you had it to try to hack the door, or
I'm gonna
electronics as well.
So is Mordred coming in right now?
Yeah. You look over your shoulder, and at that moment he's striding in the door. Yes.
I just use my big robot arm to point at the door. Hey, cute, open this. There are people in the vault. I can smell them.
I shake my head and just walk over to the door and prepare to open it.
So I sort of picture that the bear, meanwhile, is there, right, with like blood all over its plasticky blue claws. You enter and you do what to the door?
Cut it down.
Okay. Give me an attack roll. So yeah, you I mean, you're gonna hack it, right?
Any bonuses against a stationary object, or?
Not well. This is more strategic striking, where the really important part of the door is. However, it's like here's Johnny in The Shining. I mean, you carve just like a huge swath out of the door, but it does remain intact. It's a great big reinforced metal door, but you do see now where the mechanism is. So you could attempt this again. Your sword is going to take 1 point of damage. Keep track of this. It'll be fine over time. But Donovan, what are you doing as he's hacking the door? You kind of drift in behind him.
You're muted.
Sorry, there was dog noises. I'm just going to go through the door.
It's a bear, not a dog. You're gonna go through the door. Nice. Okay.
You know that's effective.
Yeah. So what does that look like? So he just swings and cuts a hole through the door, and then what do? You just drift through it?
Yeah, I'll go slightly to the side in case he decides to swing at the door again. I don't know what his weird mystical sword might do to me, so...
Yeah,
But
nice
yeah,
one.
I just kind of drift through it.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
so
walk through it because I don't drift, but
yeah. You just leave this like snotty, like kind of dripping of
a little bit of dripping ectoplasm on
yes.
the surface, yes.
Nice.
Go off.
Gross. Okay, so you go in.
Hope you brought your hanky.
Gross. So you drift through, no problem. What do you do once you're on the other side? You just kind of wait there for them to figure it out?
Stop and assess what's going on.
Well, there are a couple things. There is in fact a sensor that it's like the auto exit sensor, right? Somebody egress, it's the emergency things that they have in these doors. So if you could trip that, the door would just let them open it.
Okay. Well, he's hacking at the door, so I don't know that I want to stand on the other side of it.
Okay.
I think it takes me a moment to become tangible. Yeah, it's an action, but I will try to become tangible and press the thing.
All right, try it. How do you do that? Tell the stream.
I need
And
to
remind me
make
as
a
well.
spirit roll.
Okay.
And if I succeed, then he becomes tangible. If I don't,
Oh,
that's what happens.
we don't need to know because you did with a 6.
All right.
So you concentrate and what does he look like when he becomes tangible? Does he look haggard? Does he look...
He looks relatively normal, except that he kind of looks like he's been sleeping in his suit for a while.
kind of pale and just disheveled.
bit
but
pale,
not,
yes.
Yeah. He doesn't look like
Messy.
the librarian in Ghostbusters at this moment, right?
Oh man, you look hungry.
No.
So you, as you do that, you feel yourself, and it almost hurts, and you can feel the pain of your bullet wound as you become corporeal. It starts to just ache again, and you kind of glance down, and it's bleeding. And then you hear as the sensor picks up a body there, and Mordred, you've got your sword. You're kind of wrenching it out as this happens, and yeah, the door opens.
Well, that's effective.
So, what do you do?
Open the door and head on in.
Blocks
Gotta
girl.
remember all the weird shit you can do.
Yeah. So the door opens. Blocks girl, you're there as well. As a bear still? What are you doing?
Yeah, still has a bear.
Okay. Are you just going to mop up the rest of these creatures? I mean, there's the one right
Not the
next
rest
to you
of
as
them,
well.
just the one. If the one won't leave me alone, I'll just
Yeah.
shove it through the safety glass or something.
Give me an attack roll. Let's see how that plays out with this thing as you hear another kind of weird plastic roar. Nice. So you hit it. Let's have that damage.
Plus a D6. So 18 points.
Whoa. Okay. So yeah, you slash it across the front and just kind of peel it open yet again. It's not quite as spectacular as the last, but you send it careening back into some of that the sort of roped off stuff where they create the lines, and it topples over and just starts to kind of bleed out there, twitching. That is, the others now are starting to kind of recover and are all folding in. All told, there are 13 left, all kind of moving toward the security door. You're all together at this point. Rocket, what are you doing?
I'm gonna hop on through the door and go to the vault.
Okay, so you kind of down the hall. So there's a staff restroom, a pair of staff restrooms. There are a couple of doors that seem like they may lead into the office, and then there is the big ass vault door there in the left.
I would just follow that scent.
Okay.
That scent I already have.
You do. Okay.
Just follow that.
So as you kind of round the corner, the scent actually carries you. There's the main vault, but then there's also the safe deposit area. There is a being there, hunched over a very large safe deposit box. He has peeled the top open, and he is holding in his hand, give me a notice check, some form of crystal, which is ensconced in like this electronic apparatus of some kind. It almost looks like a sheath, and the very end of it is a crystal. And in his other hand, he has a staff, sitting on top of which is like this writhing mass of flesh. It looks like a really big fleshy mole on top of his staff. Let me see if he notices you. It's going to be one of those nights, fellas. No, he's on Twitter or something.
So I'm gonna run up and take the crystal.
Okay. You're gonna do that.
I'm just gonna take it real quick and back up.
Okay, so since he didn't notice, I'm gonna give you a fighting check, unopposed.
Okay.
And that's gonna grapple it. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So you reach up like zzz, like real slow. I picture, and then you're just like snatch.
I just yank.
Okay, so you have it in your hand. He spins around. Rocket, give me a spirit check.
Hey.
Okay. So you feel your canine instincts of fight or flight battling with one another, but this thing looks at you, and the entire face is just this warbling, ever-changing mass of flesh. Like in a moment there'll be an eye here, and then an eye here, and a mouth, and it's just always changing.
Got a blast. I run back to Mordred.
Give me athletics.
There's some fucked up thing in there, guys.
So literally just that
this.
quick. Yeah, just that quick. He rounds the corner, and he's got this thing. It's about that big. It's just really.
It seems like this is what it was here for, so I just kind of took it. I don't know.
As he's saying that, right, he's taking the time to say this. This thing is just bolting around the corner. You hear like smash, and you see this thing running around the corner. Mordred, give me a common knowledge roll. Actually, any of you can have a common knowledge roll. Why not?
What is a common knowledge roll?
It's a standard skill, smarts. You should all have it to some degree.
Just a smarts check?
Should be
It's
common
literally a
knowledge.
skill.
It's a basic skill.
Yeah, it's a basic skill, so you all have it.
Oh, common knowledge. There it is.
No bennies on this one. Rocket, give yourself an extra benny, by the way.
I'm just super stoked about fighting something nasty. I
I got a
don't know what
5
it
on the
is.
wild die.
You did. Who
All of
else?
us have to make this?
Yeah, you don't have to if you don't give a shit.
Oh!
Wow, okay.
Watchful knows what the fuck that is.
So, those of you who passed, Mordred, I'm going to assume you failed, Mordred, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't concern yourself with the petty goings-on of the world as it is or as it was. It occurs to you that this individual, his name was Peter Mitchell once upon a time. He became a servant of Dr. Ignatius Weil, and get this, he was the vice president of change management. Sorry, I had to. Through some sort of bizarre experiment, though, it's said, and he's like an actual villain that shouldn't be around, this occurs to you, that he basically is this entity that is nothing but an ever-changing mass, right? In some cases, he's got one kind of power. In another case, he's got others. But he's incredibly dangerous, and he has the power to change things around him in ways that you wouldn't be very fond of. And he's really mad. Those of you who recognize this, give me a spirit check, please.
You want me to make another one?
No, I'm thinking you're already on your way out of here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is this a resistance kind of
Looks
thing?
like it's
It
time
is.
for a Benny again. There
Oh
we
my
go.
God. Dude, your dice are on the opposite end now. Like,
Yeah,
you're either
yeah.
really good or absolutely horrible.
Is this a resistance kind of thing?
It is.
Okay. So I get a +2 to that. So
Okay.
it would be 9.
You're
So I have-
unconcerned.
I have strong-willed.
Yeah. You don't really feel like, because, you know, he can affect mortal things. You're not particularly afraid of him, but he is pretty peculiar.
He's definitely ugly.
Mordred,
Well,
did you?
I'm also corporeal at the moment, so maybe he could.
Oh, you're absolutely right. How long does that last?
Oh.
Good call. How long does that last?
Well, I was planning on switching back on my next turn.
Okay.
It lasts right till you said that.
Right till you want to know.
Yeah.
That's the duration.
Mordred, did you get
Turning it on and off requires an action.
Oh, you didn't recognize him anyway. Okay, so this creature comes winging around the corner. It looks like some kind of bizarre ogre to you, Mordred. What are you gonna do?
Square up and get ready to.
Fire up.
Square up. Okay. You press to the front.
Yeah.
All right.
Huddle the sword.
So I'm gonna give you first attack. So as he kind of comes in. Wow. Nice. Okay. So interestingly, as you go swinging, yeah. So you're gonna hit him, and we'll see how that plays out. That's
My
funny.
God.
Yeah. So
Oh my fucking God.
So, as you kind of come into swing, he holds his staff up like he's going to do something with it, and you cut right through it and into his side. The staff absorbs most of the energy, although you do actually leave him shaken. He's going to
Die,
spend a
wizard.
Benny. He's going to spend a Benny. You see, die, wizard, and chop into him. The staff actually just, there's a sudden release of energy. And everybody, please, in that general area, including Rocket, who's leaving, make a vigor check.
A wild die.
Successes all over the place. Yes. Who's the last one? Blocks? Blocks. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Wild Die.
Yeah. So you all feel this energy rush over you, and you feel your skin like resisting. It's like it's stretching and sort of changing, but it doesn't. At that moment, he's got this sort of spitting sparks and energy out of the bottom of it, and he kind of glances down at it, and that throbbing mass on the top starts to sort of shrink. Like a souffle that's like, and so yeah, you've caused him to great anguish this round, Mordred.
I pissed him off, and then you've got a staff in half.
Yes,
I'm sure he's really happy right now.
yes. So you've got this crystal thing. He's there. He throws this thing down. You see a mouth appear. No matter. There is no hope, it says. Spectral Avenger, you are up next, as you are right there at the very beginning, having come through the door first. So Mordred stepped in front of you to make this attack. You're right behind him, and then blocks girl. So what do you do?
I'm going to make myself incorporeal again so that I have a little bit more freedom of maneuverability.
Okay, do you have to make a spirit check to do that?
I do have to make a spirit check, yes.
What if you fail? You just don't.
There is something about that. We'll find out if that happens.
So we don't. Okay. So you that's a full action. So you're just there like You still have your move. What do you do?
I'm going to move through the guy to the opposite side of him.
Okay. As you pass through him, you feel like this horrible, like there's just sudden like churn in your connection to everything. It's just like his presence is very troubling to you. He's not entirely from this place, you realize as you pass through. Negligible effect on you other than leaving you a bit stirred. You move through him, soil his garments as you do, and put yourself in position. Now you guys are flanking him, so you're going to get a little bit of a bonus to attack if you're both engaging him. Block scroll. You see Donovan just kind of through him.
And
what do you do?
I'm going to activate my damage field since that's a free action.
Okay, wow. Okay, but that takes effect, I think, next round because because it takes time to charge up. Okay, got it. Block scroll. What are you doing?
So I am going to use my ensnare ability, basically to make him in Lego manacles and attempt to take him captive.
Nice. Does that require a roll?
Yeah, it's a fighting roll.
Okay.
So,
Let's see his.
anytime. Again.
Well,
there we
much better,
go.
much better. And only just.
Nice.
So the first time you're clamping at him because you're turned into Lego manacles, right? And you're clamping, and then.
Well, I'm not turning into Lego manacles. I'm actually creating them.
Okay, got it.
That's a conjuration thing.
You conjure those things up, and they're snapping, and it gets one leg, not so much the other, but that Benny really helps you. Just kind of clamp. And he looks down for a moment. He seems confused, and he's going to try to wrestle himself free. How does he get free, Byron?
So what he has to do, he suffers -2 pace and all skills or anything, and then since I got a raise on that, he can't do anything except for try to escape. -4 strength and agility.
Okay.
And the strength of the bond is, let me look at here, I don't have it in there. They are very strong. It doesn't give me a thing though. Yeah, they're considered very strong.
Okay.
Um,
So probably under grapple, I would guess. So
Yeah.
let's assume that for the moment, so that's going to be like breaking free, page 98 is probably what we're looking for. Hey everybody, we have books. What is it? Breaking. Don't bound and entangled. Breaking free from a foe. Page 101. From a device. This would be a device, right? Webnet or entangle powers a strength -2.
yeah.
Or athletics roll.
The form is considered metal.
Okay.
Blocks are
hardness form
as
must be
strong
cut.
as steel.
Hardness must be cut with edged weapons. Okay, so I'm going to assume that for now, he's not going to be able to just rip himself free. He's going to have to do something else. So he's going to be ensnared for now, not moving. He's just kind of like, oh, drat you meddling kids kind of thing, which brings us to Red Rocket.
You know we're children.
Yeah, yes, he's got 6 cents about this.
That's true.
Rocket, what do you do?
I'm gonna move away from him.
Moving out in the lobby.
Kind of get no. So is the door to this area is wide open? All these creatures are still coming at us.
They are moving, yes. And as you kind of move to the door, most of them now, interestingly, they're coming together. And as they approach, they're touching each other, okay? And like starting to just like, and one becomes, two become one, 4 become one. So they're stacking and creating this super glob.
It's 100-hander.
Yeah.
Oh my.
What do you do?
We're gonna have problems. I'm gonna use my one robotic arm and press the button to close the door.
Okay. With you in there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're right in this hallway. No, just think about this, right? Because there's the security door. Okay. I should have done a map for this, but right next to that is kind of the teller area, which is another security door. So you're just in a hallway, and this guy's got you blocked in. So you shut the door. You hit the kind of accessibility button, right? And the door, let me think. Yeah, it closes. But keep in mind, you're standing in this area, so it keeps tripping that damn sensor. As soon as it closes, you hear and it unlocks because it's got movement in this area. Okay.
God damn it.
So you do that. That's a free action. Any other important stuff? Movement?
I'll investigate this crystal as like I'll kind of like move away into like a little corner and look at it.
Okay. You've got like you're literally in like say 12 feet of space, but you kind of glance down at this thing. Give me. You don't have weird science. I'm gonna say go ahead and give me electronics check, and if you get a raise, I'll give you something. Otherwise, you're gonna need to some time. Nah. No. So what you can tell, bar none, not fucking from here. That's all.
Okay.
Definitely not from here. Weird crystal, ornately carved, housed in some kind of strange metal you don't recognize. You're going to need a minute.
Okay.
And at this moment, you wish you had pockets in your service animal vest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm just kind of holding it above like my head.
Yeah.
Make a note for a future improvement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
Big
brings
carabiners.
this brings us back to Mordred.
He's bound up.
He is, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you see Blocks conjure up these incredibly strong Lego manacles around his ankles, and he seems really puzzled by this because he's kind of aggravated.
Hey guys, there's a bunch of things. They're all becoming one out there in the lobby. By the way,
give me a listen check, Mister. I'm sorry, that's the wrong game. Give me a notice check, James, for Mordred. Hi, Faye Mom. Ooh, nice. Okay. You hear this very low sound out from the lobby. Something is happening out there.
You did this. Undo it. Change them back.
There is no hope. Free me and live.
Bash him in the face.
Just
Change him back.
So his mouth kind of appear. Remember, his face is constantly rearranging itself. So you kind of go to punch him. Give me a fighting roll.
Oh, mystery men, right there. There is no hope.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you go to punch, and his face actually goes and opens up, and you punch right through it. And then it closes down. You feel this wet, nasty, toothy situation around your arm.
Around the armor.
Well, yeah, well, fair. You hear it going, squeaking on the armor.
It's like chewing on a piece of aluminum foil.
Yes. And this eye kind of, opens up, and the bit of its head that's around your arm, and the mouth appears on the other side of its head. You will not survive this night.
I mean, I care to disagree, but like...
He says, I have to do it. I am the vice president of change management. He says.
Do you have any ID or like...
So that was your attack, which has not caused him any damage. Do you wish to move, like any further action or what? Otherwise, we're going to move on to Spectral Avenger.
Yeah, just move on.
Nice. Okay. So, Donovan, you have on the other side, right? You've appeared there. He's got this kind of weird garb on. You see you see Mordred's fist come through the back of his head and everything that I just kind of described.
I don't know what the damage field would do with his arm being there. So I think I'm going to hold off. I'm trying to be mindful of what's around me, because I know this hurts things in my general vicinity, but I don't really know that much about it.
Yes.
I'm newly dead.
You are newly dead. That's true. Okay, so what are you going to do?
I'm just going to step back a little bit and hold.
Okay, so you step back and hold.
I didn't anticipate him putting his fist through the guy's head.
True. Blocks girl. You are behind Mordred. You see this happen, and this kind of conversation is going on very quickly. What are you doing? With Rocket kind of like nipping at your heels, going, hey guys, there's a problem.
Crap. I really can't do anything in this hallway.
You are still a bear, by the way. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
You could really fuck up this creature out here. That'd be cool.
I try to I guess go back to the door and try to find a way to shut it.
Okay.
Since, the emergency thing kept clicking, right?
Yep. So the egress sensor keeps clicking. There's probably a way to turn it off, but you don't know. Not here. You could hold it shut, maybe. As you go to the door, though, you hear this kind of like, and it's got one of those kind of oblong windows in it, so you can sort of see through it.
Right.
These things have come together, and they are just a mass of flesh. It's like huge. Cross when you're thinking about like the diameter of it at this point is probably like 10 feet, and it's just kind of rolling and shifting toward this door. Furniture is getting sopped up into it. It's almost like the Blob, veiny, hairy, all kinds of weird shit stuck in there.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to fight it. So I will go out the door.
Okay.
Towards it.
So from the camera's angle, right? Like I see the narrow window outside the door, seeing blocks looking out and just kind of opening up the door.
And I just do that typical bear thing where you stand up on the hind legs and like a grizzly and just roar at it.
Okay. You roar. You don't know if it hears or responds to you. There's mouths and eyes and shit coming and going all over the mass of this thing. What it does do is ejects something at you as you step out. Hang on.
Well, this will be nice.
Yeah. Oop. Okay, so it shoots a red stapler, just kind of end over end, and smashes into the wall against you. And then as it doesn't hit you, obviously, just shatters against the wall, but with reaching out with this growing appendage, it grabs a potted plant and holds it up over its head. And the fight is on. What are you going to do?
I'm going to enter a berserk rage for that last edge that I took as my advancement, basically.
There you go.
And so all of my attacks have to be wild attacks now.
Well, you're a bear, so that helps.
Okay.
Like,
it's a whole different wild attack, but. All right, so I'm going to get +2 to all of my fighting attacks and resulting damage rolls.
Okay. What's the downside of that?
That I become vulnerable until the end of the next turn.
Okay.
So it's going to last for all 5 turns, basically.
Okay. Got it. So, what does that look like? You just like this big blue,
really pissed off bear.
Lego.
Made of Legos.
It
and
looks
you
like a
kind
Care
of
Bear.
go charging toward it. Give me
Do you
your
remember
attack.
that scene? Do you remember that scene where Leonardo DiCaprio gets
Revenant.
thrown around by the bear and Revenant? That's what it's gonna look like.
Yes. Nice. Okay. So you kind of go charging in. You kind of run over like a table, knocking off some magazines, and another potted plant falls over as you're running at this mass. At this point, even standing on your hind legs, because of the number of these things that have joined, it's got about 1.5 feet of height on you.
I don't care.
Give me your attack roll. Let's do it. Tyler, I don't know if you caught it, but I said give yourself an extra Benny for that.
Here we go. Another Benny.
Yeah, that's why I'm at 5.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I got
nice.
Or
5.
did you give me 2? I don't know.
So, sadly, this creature's parry is a little bit beyond what you're after. So you're swinging at it and trying to bite at it, and it's just got appendages kind of coming out of it, things flying out at you. You do not manage to score a meaningful hit, but you are there where it can return your attack, so it's going to do that. And, you know... Oh, wait, why am I rolling -4? That's for the other guy. Sorry.
Well, that's definitely what he got.
Yeah, no, sorry. There you go. That's a little better. So, what is your parry?
Backsies.
What is your parry blocks?
My parry is 6.
Okay, so right on. So this thing clobbers you in the side of the head with this potted plant, which is basically a big ceramic planter with like a plastic ficus tree or some shit in it. And the potted plant shatters on the bear. We're going to call that D6. And we're going to do 1D4 for the pot. Yeah, so 7 damage. What is your toughness?
My toughness is currently 10.
Okay, yeah, so it's...
And I ignore 1 level of damage due to Berserk.
Right, okay, so yeah, so you hear your ears ring as it just shatters this pot in the side of your head, sends you sprawling off to the side, but you are not shaken or wounded, so you'll be able to jump right back up and get busy. It continues its move toward the door. It's like it's not as interested in you as it is something else.
Well, I'm at the door, so I'm like,
yeah, so you're kind of laid out right there in the
it's
front.
not going past me.
Okay, Mordred. Yes, I believe that's right. Yes, Mordred, you are up next. What do you do?
Try and pull my arm out of him, and if I get any leeway while my hand is inside him, just grab and pull.
Okay. Yeah, give me a let's say that's a fighting technique. You're going to use some kind of like weird grippy grip. So give me a fighting roll. Nice. All right. So what do you try to... Okay, so I'm going to tell you what you grab. So you're pulling out. You feel something kind of sinewy, and you grab it and pull. And just as one of his eyes kind of appears on his ever-changing face, you pull, and it gets sucked into the socket, and out it's the hole in the front. So you've got this eye and optic nerve in your hand. What do you want to rip it out?
Yeah, I just ripped it out and just throw it aside.
Yeah, give me a strength roll. So gross.
Strength.
Oh, geez, I forgot Mordred's strength. Yeah, okay, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, you pull it, and it's sort of bleeding because you're pulling it, and it starts to bleed, and then you throw it, and the thing screams. Obviously, it doesn't like having parts of its body ripped out. So that'll serve as your attack. You can move. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm just staying there right where with him, just yelling at him, change him back. You did this abomination.
Okay, you're screaming at him there with your sword, just through his eyeball, like right past the Spectral Avenger. And as you drew back to throw it, it sort of splattered Red Rocket with its blood. Spectral Avenger, what do you do?
Now that his arm's no longer staring me in the face, I'm going to use the damage field.
Okay, so you turn on the damage field. Goddamn damage field. What's the resistance there? Spared or something?
It doesn't have any kind of resistance or anything listed.
Really?
You know, resistances don't be in the damage field.
Basically, yes.
We'll go with that for this episode. That's
makes
fine.
sense.
We'll go with that. I like that.
Don't be in the damage field.
And he's unfortunately got Blox Girl's manacles around his ankles, so yeah, it's problematic.
He ain't moving.
Can't move very well.
Mm-mm. Well, nice. Okay, so I think yes. So he's going to be at this point shaken. That is you hit him with this frozen spiritual energy, and it just overwhelms him. Having his eyeball just ripped out, his face is reforming itself, and he just you see the ice start to creep over his flesh. He's not dead, but it definitely knocked him off his guard, and it may be easier for Mordred to come back around and attack him. So he's shaken. He's going to... Yeah, he's going to spend... he already spent a Benny, didn't he? So he's going to spend one of his 2 remaining. He's going to get rid of the shaken result, so he'll be able to act, but we'll go to... yeah, so he's going to... The ghost is behind him. He's actually going to attack Mordred. I think that's futile. Shit.
Oh,
He is a wild card though, so let me
Especially
roll
when he
my
rolls
wild die.
that.
Yeah, sorry. Here's his wild die. So
Oh!
no, yeah. So he swings at Mordred, and Mordred, why does he miss you? Tell the stream.
It just not even miss me. It just he's so bound up and messed up that it's just a no sell. He hits me and it does nothing.
Yeah, okay, so just swats you in the armor, and okay, good. So he takes a step back. That brings us to Red Rocket. Red Rocket, what are you doing?
so I'm not a big fan of being in this corner. So I'm gonna skate on out of here.
Okay,
I'm gonna move past this creature, not the guy, the big mound of meat.
like further
And,
into the.
Yeah, to the door.
Okay,
the
so like
outside
out into the lobby.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Give me a spirit roll as you open the door and you see this mass. So first, you kind of use your one robot arm to open the door. You see Block's girl kind of recovering from being knocked off her feet, and this double ones. You are paralyzed with fear as you see this thing. It's just not something you've ever seen, and this the weird hybrid of dog senses that you have, the flight response takes over. So you're
I just imagine the door opens and then just closes.
yes, exactly. You smell it and it's all gristly and shit, and you're just like, oh, the door. Yes, the door closes. The battle rages on. But you still have actions though. So open the door is a free action. What would you like to do instead?
So I can't. So I'm paralyzed. With fear.
You are absolutely not going out there. Not without a round or two to recover. Let's see.
I'm gonna move and take cover beneath the teller's desk.
Okay.
Yeah,
one round. So you'll be able to recover.
The flight has taken place. I'm taking cover underneath one of the teller's desks.
Okay. So you kind
With
of
this crystal. Like,
Yeah,
it's mine now.
you make your way around the corner, and remember there was that teller who was kind of hiding in the corner. You kind of round, and she goes, "Oh, hey, buddy, come here. It's dangerous. Come here, buddy. Come here." What do you do?
I'm one of the heroes.
She's just like, somebody roll her spirit check at 1d4, please. Let's see how she, if she also pees her pants. Okay. I'm taking the first one, so that was there. So she got a 2. So she's just like, oh, what the fuck? And she scoots back
I
further.
promise
into the
I'm
corner.
not as weird as the big mound of meat out there. Like,
Wait.
I'm a talking dog. You'll eventually get better. It's okay.
I'm going to take the second roll from Block's girl as her common knowledge roll. And she says, wait. You're Little Rocket or whatever, right? You're like
Red Rocket, yeah.
Yeah.
I get all excited.
Holy shit, there's
You do.
Have you seen it? There's a fucking... Okay, so you're having a chat with her, moving back around. Block's girl. So you were lying out in the lobby there. Big flesh mass coming at you. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to destroy it.
Okay. So
+2 also, so that's a 9.
So 9. So
this
no.
time.
So you come in at it again, and this thing's kind of rolling towards you. You hit it, but you're trying to find a vital area. So like your bear claw like slashes into it and just opens it, and it bleeds, and like some objects fall out of it. But very quickly it reforms behind that. It's like you're looking for something. So give me a notice check, please. Yeah.
Whoa.
So in this moment of clarity, right, you slash through it and it's bleeding. You're looking around. Clustered on top of this thing is the sum of all these people's heads. And they're just kind of fused in like this crown of like kind of stuff. Seems like that might be your next target. You can move, but you have no attacks left. So what do you do?
He's the real Burger King.
Just trying to station myself between
Episode title.
between the door and this thing. So just trying to make sure it can't go around me.
Okay, so it's going to try, for sure. Ooh, sorry. What's your parry?
My parry is 6.
So it's moving in, and you're managing to defend yourself as it swats at you with appendages, and like it's kind of these protruding objects are pressing against you. It's gotten all the way up against the door now, and it's settled to just smush into you. So like this big like kind of thing just mashing you against the door. Picture the camera on the other side of the door looking out. The window goes
it's like a tube of toothpaste.
Exactly right. Okay, so that it's going to try to push you through the door. So we'll see how that works out for you. Mordred?
Here, it's not gonna push me to the door, I don't think.
Nope.
Maybe.
All right. Well, this guy's time is up.
Is that right? Here comes the demon rolls. Wait for it. Wait for it, everyone. All right. That's not going to do it, actually. You can spend a Benny if you want, before I tell you what he does to fend off your sword blow there.
I'll let him have it.
You let him have it. You let him go. You keep him alive. Okay, so you go to swing, and he actually kind of moves very quickly and hits your elbow, kind of knocking it upward whilst bending down. And almost like a matrixy sort of move. At this point, he has decided, without a doubt, he's got to get out of these chains. How longer do these last, blocks? They're not.
I'm not really sure how to find durations and stuff for power. So.
All right. So I'm going to assume at this point he can start checking strength, and if he gets a raise, he's going to get loose. So we'll do that.
Loose, foot loose.
And yes, so there's his raise. So he literally just, as he dodges, he looks down and just, and like tons of these little Legos go scattering everywhere and then just kind of dissolve into the floor. And he looks up at you, scooping up his the top of his scepter as a free action, and the other half of his scepter as well. That will be his full action, though, as he's got both halves of the staff. I'm sorry, not scepter. Both halves of them at this point. Spectral Avenger, what are you doing? Damagey damage?
Yep.
Again. God, you're a dick. Okay. I got one more Benny, and then I got 3 GM Bennies that I can start bringing out here, but I want to use those for the blobby blob. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust that one just to keep him in check. That field is passive. Do you have to concentrate? Is it an action to maintain it every round?
I do not have to do anything.
Okay, so it's just on. So you get an action and a move then, right?
So, yeah, so I can move and I can, if there's any free action. My focus is really keeping it away from my comrades.
Okay. So you're doing
while
that.
Keeping it on him.
And that's actually an interesting point. You have to stay far enough away for that. So you can't get close enough to really engage him in any other way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm also incorporeal, so there's only so many ways I can engage him.
From the inside out.
That.
Okay. So, right. So at this point, you see, kind of in the back of this thing's head, these eyes kind of form back there, and he's looking at you as you're frosting his back, and he just, and you hear it crunching and whatnot. But he does shrug it off nonetheless, which brings us back to Red Rocket. Red Rocket, what are you doing?
I'm gonna read whatever her name tag is.
Her name tag is Amy.
Hey, where's the emergency exit? We gotta go.
She glances down. It's just that way. Past the offices. Past the offices, the back door.
Come with me.
Yeah.
Let's go. We'll get out of here.
Give me a what's the word? I'm trying crossing game systems. Give me the persuady roll. Persuasion.
Yeah.
It's going to be -2 because she's terrified.
Is there like an unskilled?
That
persuasion?
is, what is that based on?
Is that one of them?
Is that spirit probably?
Spirit?
Hang on. Yeah, but you're going to be doing like a D4 at half. So hang on a second. Yeah.
I think persuasion is a basic.
It is, isn't it? It is a basic one. So yeah, you should have it. So it's going to be your spirit.
Just a D4.
Yeah, it's just a D4.
All right.
You can improve it if you want, but if you haven't, it's a D4.
Wild die on the 5.
Wild die. Got it.
That would be a
Okay.
3.
So I think there's
2.
this moment where she's about to say no, but then Red Rocket does the puppy dog eyes, right? And cocks his
I'll
head
do
to
the
the
puppy dog
side.
eyes in the head tilt.
Yeah, and she's just like, okay, and she grabs her employee card just to make sure it's there, kind of clipped to her. She's got this kind of smart pair of
Lead the way, and I'll protect you.
Oh no. She says, I'm not. No.
Okay,
no,
that's
you're
fine.
the
That's
hero.
fine. We're good. We'll go. Let's go.
Okay. So she kind of creeps behind you. Where do you go? Because mind you, the
The
battle's
direction
raging.
she's pointing.
Yeah, the battle's raging.
Past the offices.
Yeah, if you step out of the teller area, like literally, you could pat Donovan on the back of his ghostly head. So the battle's just right there.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I have a protector of +2 as part of my parry, so I can split my parry between me and her.
Okay.
So I'll give her half of my parry.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I'll give her 6 parry.
Okay. So
Sweet.
yeah, so you do that. So you move out. And I'm going to say, because he's so engaged, he's not going to do much to stop it. So you kind of round the corner. You go past the offices. There's one very important looking glass door. It says something about, branch manager.
Is there anyone else back here?
I don't know. I think Sharon might be here somewhere. I think Sharon's here.
Well, let's get you out, and I'll check for her.
Okay. And so you pass the door. You get to the back, and she's got her proximity card. And you open the door, and sure as shit, it's out there in the back street there, behind the bank.
So is there anything in the alley at all? Any like cops or anything like that starting to come?
Not on the behind the alley as yet.
Okay.
Although if you give me a notice check, just for kicks.
11.
So you do, now that the door's open, you do in fact hear sirens and maybe a helicopter, you think. So there's a FedEx truck that looks like it's in the midst of a delivery across the way. There's a dumpster not too far away, and there's also a big generator cabinet and whatnot for like the bank infrastructure. It's a big secure thing.
So I'll tell her to take cover behind the dumpster. I'm gonna go check for Sharon.
Okay, so she thanks you, and she's kind of running away, and she kind of looks back and waves.
And I
real
give her
quick.
like a little puppy dog wink, like.
Give yourself a Benny, please. Okay, moving
yeah.
back around. So that would bring us to Blocks Girl. So, Blocks Girl, you're being pressed against the door by this like big fucking mass of flesh. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna attempt to like push him back.
Okay.
Basically push back against it. I'm not sure if there's like rules for like a bull rush, basically, or
yeah,
like
you could do you can do opposed strength just to make it easy if you're just trying to push him back to be able to get some distance
I like
in
that.
between you and the door. Okay.
So
the fuck?
like I have a strength. So do I roll the die roll?
Yeah, you roll the bear's strength. Yes.
And that's plus 2 to that also.
And it rolls a 3. So I'm not going to spend any GM bennies. I only have 3 bennies left. I'm fast running out. So Blocks Girl, you push this thing with that number of raises. What you tell me what you do with it.
So I basically just like put my front arms and just push it as hard as I can back towards like the teller counter, and it probably slams into it, reverberating the glass windows and stuff.
Oh yeah, and like the camera from in there sees it like go and kind of like
Yeah, and then
spread
like the
out.
bank cameras, you can see it on all the monitors.
Yeah. So you push this thing back, and all these different kind of camera angles catch that. And I'm gonna, because that was such a success, I'm gonna allow you an attack because you were just using your move powered by your strength, and you didn't go far.
That would be a 9.
Yeah. So you didn't. I'm guessing you're aiming for a weak spot, like the cluster.
Yeah, I'm aiming for that head thing
Okay.
if I can.
You're gonna
Head
need
cluster.
Yeah, you're going to need a little bit more of a hit for that. So you swat at it, But
Just
you
imagine
do
it like a
damage, yeah.
bushel of grapes on top of
Yeah.
Yeah,
like pre-smashed hamburger. Like just
so gross. It retaliates, and I hate dice. I got one. I'm gonna spend one GM Benny, so that'll get me down to 2. Yes. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So it actually, your parry is 8, right? So it's gonna hit
Yeah.
you.
No, my pair's 6.
6. Okay, good. Even better.
Get too much joy out of that.
Okay, what's your toughness? Toughness is 8, right?
My toughness is 9.
9. Okay, so it swats you, and again, sends you kind of careening. There's like that little sitting area where you're waiting to get denied for a loan, and it sends you sprawling across those shitty IKEA furnishings, and you're kind of faced off again. Scene switches back. Mordred, what are you doing?
This disgusting sorcerer is about to do something with his staff, so I'm going to do a wild attack and put a stop to this. So it's +2 attack and damage, and I'm vulnerable on the next round. That's +2 to attacks against me.
I hope you roll snake eyes. Please roll snake eyes. Not snake eyes at all. Okay.
oh my.
Okay. Holy shit. Okay, so that is what, 2 raises? What's that look like? No, 1. Okay. So he's going to be shaken and wounded. I am going to let him make a soak roll.
Soak this dude.
Yeah. So he's going to soak the wound. So wait, let me see. This soaks.
How much damage? Or is it just...
Yeah, I got to go look at that. It's been too long. If the chat knows, chat, tell us. Sorry.
Somebody say something.
Yeah, somebody help us. Hang on. If anybody has to pee, you know. You ever notice that we never stop to pee during these games, Byron?
Let's do.
Oh, have you been disappearing? Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
He said it like 3 times.
Look at the chat, dude. I'm like,
Oh,
I've got
yeah.
him twice.
Yeah, nice. I don't watch that chat.
Every like hour he goes.
All right, so
He's got a little baby bladder.
Water pill, man.
So
Water
he
pill.
spends a GM Benny to soak. So now I got 1 left. Keep me honest on that. I made a vigor check. Each success or raise, reducing the number of wounds suffered from the attack by 1. Okay, so he is shaken at this point, right? So he successfully soaked that wound. Although, tell me about the blow, because it was a savage one. So tell me what it looks like.
Yeah, if he's like had the staff up kind of like this, just some kind of move, like throw a chair or something at him to milk him off balance,
I'm
grab
thinking
the
like,
arm
yeah,
holding the top of the staff and just sword down trying to cut it off.
got it. Okay, so you kind of it gets thrown against the wall in the hallway there. He's still got his staff, but he's absolutely shaken. He'll be able to unshake next round, hopefully, or not. Okay, so he is going to be. Let me see. This will be his turn. Do you want to do any moves or free action, Mordred, before we move on?
No, I'm just staying right there with
Just
him
staying
to
right there.
bring
Okay.
the punishment.
Bring punishment. All right, so he's going to try to unshake at this point. Let's see if he succeeds. He does succeed. So he unshakes. And at this point, he takes the top of his staff and the bottom of his staff, and his action is to hold them together. And you see, like, his face, the movement of all the flesh just starts moving very quick, and some glowing happens there. It's like he's reforming this staff using his energy. Spectral Avenger. You have 2, by the way, that'll take 2 rounds, so he won't be able to do anything else but that for 2 rounds. Spectral Avenger, what are you doing?
I'm gonna hit him with some spiritual savagery.
What does that even mean?
Oh
Holy shit!
my God.
Holy shit! Okay, I hate you so much. So,
Damage.
all right.
Wow.
So, this field creeps over him as he's holding it. You see his fists glaze over with ice, and he's squeezing so hard that the ice just like crackles on his skin. He's going to be shaken, and that's going to take him to a wounded place. And let me see, I've got 1 Benny left, don't I? And I can't do anything but spend it here. So I'm going to spend it to allow him to make a check. See if he can soak it. He does. So he's there, but again, he's shaken, and his hands come apart. And so you've interrupted the reforming of the staff. Congratulations, asshole. Red Rocket, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go open the manager's door.
Okay. Do you have...
Shannon? Hello?
Fuck. You hear a kind of a wavering voice. Is it the police? Is it the police? They're out near the lobby. I'm okay.
You can come out. I helped Amy get out the back.
So you see this over the edge of the desk.
And you see the little robot arm.
Somebody give me the D4 spirit check for the normal person observing the talking dog. Critical failure.
I know this is weird.
Shannon faints. She's just had enough.
You to carry.
Yeah, she just.
I'm gonna go drag her body. The robot arms just. Well, I got to drag her with one robot arm because I have the crystal still.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so you're gonna go try to do that. So you can get over there and kind of find grab her by her belt. She's wearing some navy khaki type things with a belt and some kind of shirt, obviously. That brings us back to the lobby with the meat blob and Blocks girl. Blocks, what are you doing?
So I pushed it all the way back to the teller window.
Yep.
It kind of threw me back a little bit.
Yep.
And so I'm guessing maybe like 10 feet from it.
Yep, that's about right.
So I'm going to prime to explode, basically. I'm about to blow this thing to bits. So basically I do nothing but just prime myself. So I'm just like, and I start whistling the bare necessities.
How long does that take? Does it take a whole round or is it instantaneous?
It takes a whole round. I can't do anything but prime.
Okay.
It's gonna come right to you.
It's gonna come right to me, and then it's gonna be like, boom.
Yes. So it is. Yeah. It's pushed. It's pushed you down. Are you laying down still? Do you recover and stand up, or you just stay down on the ground?
It says I can't do anything but prime.
So you're just laying there, right? So it's.
Yeah, I'm just laying there.
Moving back toward you. At this point, very focused on ending your life, but not fast. It's very tentative because it understands that, okay, let's see what's going on. It's going to move in and give me a D4 roll. This is going to be its smarts check. I'm going to take the 1 because it's the first one I saw.
All of us roll so quickly.
Right, so it as it's moving in, it's trying to sort out what's going on because Blocks, you're just like kind of like weird noises, and you see the heads on top of this thing all kind of like, like they're sort of trying to figure out what's happening, but it is going to come in and try to attack you, and sadly, that's going to be pretty easy because you don't have any parry when you're doing that, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily say I don't, but it would make perfect sense.
I got
for
one.
it to,
I spent my last penny. No, I didn't. I have one last penny, don't I?
Yeah, you got one.
Fuck. Welcome to the Temper Tantrum channel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so it comes in and basically leveraging like a leg on the end of which is like a hips and a torso and like the rib cage and shit, like a mallet. It's just like and flattens the furniture that you're kind of laying in between, but it doesn't actually manage to hit you, much to my chagrin. Why don't we finish this one out this round before we get to the big bad? So you are primed, and you see this thing looming over you, and all of its heads kind of like. What do you do? Describe it.
So I'm just kind of sitting there, and I just kind of look at it, and the bear just kind of smiles.
Oh!
Okay, so there's some acing going on there. So that that's gonna. It is not a wild card itself. So one wound kills it. So tell me, it rolls over you, Byron. It's like picture a bowling ball of flesh just kind of closing over you. What does the camera see from like the teller station?
It looks like somebody threw a bag of hamburger and Legos. Because I blow into 1,000 blocks, you know what I mean? So it's like hamburger and Legos all mixed together.
Yeah, so I think the camera,
The whole
looking,
lobby.
Yeah, the camera looking out the glass just is like just splattered all over the glass, like, you know, pieces of face and blocks and whatever else. The monstrosity is dead. And Blocks, you're like super fatigued and right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually have 3 levels of fatigue, 1 from the berserk rage ending and 2 from the explosion.
Yeah, so it's going to take you a while just to reform. Camera switches. You guys hear this kind of like sound, drippage on that horizontal window. And
Never been happier to have those windows go to the ceiling.
You see the vice president of
Right.
change. Yeah, you see the vice president of change kind of like he's shocked. Mordred, it is your turn. What do you do?
Did he drop the part of the staff?
He did not. He has both parts,
Okay.
but he did stop trying to put it together.
All right, well, just wrap him up. He's not putting it together.
You gonna try to grapple him? You gonna attack him with your sword? What are you gonna do? Just
the sword.
Okay. And yeah, no, that's not gonna hit him. You want to spend a Benny?
Oh.
Got 2 points.
Let me
2
roll the
points
right
shy.
thing, actually. But yeah, I'll spend my last penny.
Okay. I think it was 12. So you're still. So you swat at him, and definitely he managed somehow to dodge back as he's just and you swing wide, pressing him further toward the door, which is now unguarded essentially by the bear. Any movements, free actions, or anything before we get to Mr. Spectral? Microwave
Mr.
oven.
Shield. Microwave oven.
No, I'm just. Well, we're on either side of them, and I'm keeping him away from the doorway to get out.
Yeah. Okay. Spectral Avenger, you're up. What do you do? Keep pressing for. Okay. I got one more Benny, and that's it.
Got it.
That's it. Oh yes. Okay. Only just. So you again though with that level of damage, he's gonna be shaken. So he doesn't take a wound, but he because he was. Yeah, was he shaken before? Yes.
Shaken last round, yeah.
Yeah. So brings him into his next turn because he spent the Benny to soak that damage. So he is going to try his vigor roll to unshake, and he does somehow. You're pressing him forward, and you can see this sheet of ice, just kind of growing on his back. At this point, Mordred is almost with his back to the door, where he won't have the mobility he needs to do those fancy swings without a hefty penalty. And so, Red Rocket, you are what?
Dragging Shannon out.
Okay. Shannon, Sharon, I don't remember what I said her name was, but
it was Shannon or Sharon. It was one of those two.
One's her middle name. It's fine. Well, Shannon, Sharon,
Yeah.
Sharon, Shannon.
Shannon.
You just drag her out out into the alley.
Hey, Amy, she passed out. Can you help me?
At this point,
I'm not the most able-bodied.
you see cops coming up with guns as you drag her out. One of them stops. Somebody give me a D4 for common knowledge for the cop.
Hey! Red Rocket's famous.
He gets a pretty big. Hey, that's that fucking dog. Hey, you got it under control in there, little fella?
Yeah, it's going okay. Can you help her? I can't really pick her up.
Yeah, get her up, They shoulder their arms.
I don't know what's going on in there anymore, but I just heard an explosion, so things are probably going well.
So he points in there, and a couple guys kind of start moving toward the door. Next round, they'll be in there and probably start shooting all kinds of bullets, at everything, including.
So ignore the ghost guy and the guy that's a knight that looks like a knight and the Lego lady.
Clearly. Didn't get a word of that, as they're just like the one guy's dragging.
I'm just rambling at this point.
Just like running around. Hey. Okay. Blocks is still recovering. Mordred.
Takes me 5 hours to
5
recover.
hours. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
You're just taking a nap.
Like blocks, I think, are just kind of inching their way along the ground and kind of reforming. And yeah.
So I'd pick up that there's Donovan's doing something there. I've seen the damage field before, and that guy's frosting over. So I'm just going to grapple with the guy and keep him in it and try to keep him from getting the staff together. So
Okay. Give me a fighting roll.
let's see which one of us dies first.
Nice.
That's a dick move. It's such a dick move.
I just make sure it's like Spock in that radiation chamber. He's just like,
Yeah. Okay. Mordred, you tell me how you grapple this guy. So he's there. He's still got one manacle attached to his ankle. He broke the other one loose. How do you do it?
Just somehow tying up like his right arm, if that's holding the upper part, kind of is across his own neck in my arm there, and just tied up and holding him there in the cold.
Nice. Okay. So you jump in, and he is going to, let's just make sure he doesn't counter you. Yeah. Okay. So you do that. You grab his arm, you kind of pull it up this way, and he's and held fast as you both topple to the ground. And is that all? Do you suggest that, like, how does Donovan know what you're planning to do?
Oh, I saying what I said, I think he'd pick up that I know I'm going to get hurt here.
Oh, so you say that, let's see which one of us dies first. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You both hit the ground. Donovan, it's all on you. What do you do?
If I can maneuver in a way to minimize or eliminate
No
the
way.
coverage on Mordred.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay.
Full tilt. Full tilt.
If that's what he said.
You want to re-roll it with a Benny? You want to go heavy? Do you want to?
I don't know that I want to go super heavy with Mordred right there, but yeah.
That's a nice
hoping to whittle
dusting.
away at the whatever the bad guy's name was.
It is still significant, and I am all out of bennies, aren't I? So
You are.
hey, I've been making good noises. Can I have some bonus bennies? So
See,
So-
you give us the bonus pennies. That's not good.
yeah. So as this field just kind of starts to cross over you, Mordred, everything takes on this really weird gray, colorless, like dead feeling. And you can feel the air coming in and out of your lungs is just like frozen. It feels like razor blades as it goes into your lungs.
I don't even have to breathe, so that
So weird. What is your toughness? Like 37?
I don't think does armor do anything for this.
No.
Okay.
It's 9?
Yeah.
Really? That's cool. We can hurt you. He can be killed. Okay. So yeah, you're going to be shaken. Absolutely. And then but not. And then a raise on that, right? 4 beyond toughness. So you're going to take 1 wound. You can spend a Benny to soak it and make a vigor roll if you'd like.
I don't have any bennies left.
Sweet. So you take a wound. Hey! Mordred gets hurt. So as you breathe in this ice, you can feel it just slicing at your lungs and your esophagus, and just your eyes are just
No, I don't.
What? Oh, you don't
I
breathe.
don't breathe.
Listen. You feel it in your BH then. You feel it somewhere. You feel it someplace. You got a real chilly fanny. Yeah, but you do take a wound. This puts you in a bad state. You can still recover from being shaken, obviously, but so you're shaken and you have 1 wound. Sad thing is, this guy can't recover, so he also takes a wound, and bringing him down to 2 as you continue to grapple there. And conscious of time and all things, wait, you're wounded, so you're shaken. You cannot continue to hold him. So I will take it 1 more round. Give me a fighting roll to continue your grapple, sir.
I get
Or
a
actually,
healing
you
roll
got
on
to
my round
unshake
2.
first. I'm sorry?
I can heal on my round 2.
That's going to be an action, though, yeah?
No, it's just
Just
a
happens?
power.
I'm going to say that's got to be intentional, though. It can't be passive. You're not a troll.
Yeah, I am.
In more ways than one. No, but let's
the fine
call it.
print.
Yeah, let's call it an action for the moment, you motherfucker. And So you can choose. Do you want to keep him grappled or do you want to focus on healing?
I'm going to kill him.
Okay, so you're going to focus on grappling. First, you have to unshake, so give me the vigor roll. This is your turn. Yes, of course you succeed.
Jeez.
Jesus. Wild die explodes to 21.
I was gonna say.
I hate you. I hate you and your fingers. No, you so you shake out of it and you feel him starting to kind of press loose from your grapple, and then you squeeze. No, we're not starting over, Thorg. This has been hell for me. So give me your fighting. Thorg is asking us to start over so he can get it from the top. Oh, nice. Okay, so you do succeed, and you're able to keep him grappled there in your armored clutch. Give me the next damage roll, please. Okay, so that. Where does that put you, Mordred? Let me ask you first.
I don't know, how does that even work?
So your toughness is 9. So you're gonna take 2 wounds.
Yeah. I mean, I'm supposed to roll healing every round.
Okay, so I'll let you roll. So if it's passive, as much as I hate it, I'll let you have that. So you would be down to 0 wounds. So you're gonna take 2 wounds though. So next round, how does your healing work? Is it roll 1d(x) to get wounds, or is it just 1 per?
It's just roll natural healing every round, and I can regenerate from wounds.
Okay, so natural healing every round. Basically, you make a vigor roll, successfully recovers one wound, and a raise is 3. So for the last one, go ahead and do your vigor roll. Let's see if you're still hurt. You are not. Okay, so you would have been at 0 wounds. This round you would take 2 wounds. So bringing, you're feeling this. This is like all the colors going out of everything. The color of the paint is different. The walls are starting to kind of like drip with this like black tenderly shit as this supernatural power just assaults you. So you'll have two wounds this round. The good news is, I'm all out of bennies. He doesn't have regeneration. So as you're holding him, you're squeezing and you're staring into his eyes that are kind of freezing.
Almost dying is the most exciting thing ever.
Yes. You watch as the color from his eyes just drains, and he's just like, his face freezes in the form that it was at. And you see just this little bit of spittle freeze into like a little icicle off of his lip as he dies.
Like it was you.
I would have to guess that you just kind of collapse, right? Like, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the visit to the bank. So, Block Scroll is strewn all over the lobby. Spectral Avenger, you're there, still killing Mordred.
If I'm reasonably sure the bad guy's dead, I'm going to shut off the damage field.
Okay.
And I don't know about his regeneration, so I'm going to switch to my healing power.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, Mordred,
you've never been
feel
wounded, so
you sort of feel this sudden rush of air into your lungs, even though you don't need it. It's this very like familiar, connected with life feeling as you're just there, just.
No wonder he's so angry. He can't breathe.
Well, with that help and the natural recovery, I'd like be good as new and just get back on my feet.
Yeah, tell me about your healing power, Spectral Avenger. How does that work?
So it's slightly different from his other abilities. His hands emit a warm, soothing glow.
Gross.
And then he plunges them into the body of the person that he's trying to heal.
I think we talked about that when we made your character.
Yes, we did, because I did it on Burn Finger.
Yeah. Horrific pain. It just comes from your soul as he just kind of plunges his hands through your armor into your chest. And it's literally, just picture the paddles of life, like being a defibrillator just in your
thanks,
chest.
I'm good. Stop.
Stop doing that.
You have a safety word. You're like aardvark, aardvark. Okay, so you're there healing him. Red Rocket, what are you doing? So you've saved.
I'm just
Shannon.
guiding the police in.
Okay. So
Right this way, gentlemen.
the door
Come.
blows open. Cops and Spectral Avenger. This you kind of see this, and of course they're there with their little kind of assault weapons and whatnot. And there's a little dog with the service animal vest on, like tick, 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 as he approaches. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is an okay place to call this session complete. Thanks for those of you who watched. Thank you, Thorg, for showing up, albeit late. That's totally fine. You can see this if you didn't catch the whole episode on YouTube, or you can just rewatch it on Twitch. What's coming up this week, Byron? So we have
Pendragon. 2
Yeah.
days, the conclusion of the first episodes.
Yes. So we've got some shenanigans going on in the forest, I think, with our characters.
The Dean Forest yet again this week.
Yeah.
For those who are playing.
Yeah, exactly. We will be hopefully getting together next Monday for Deadlands. A little getting back on schedule with that.
Next Black Agents Tuesday.
Righto. So anyway, we're going to hang up on you now because it's Sunday and we're all old and stuff. So thanks for watching.
Well, some of us.
Shut up. Yeah, but you're tired. I know you're tired. You always are.
Oh,
Have
yeah,
a good night, everyone. Thanks for
everybody.
watching.